Good evening, everyone. I'm sincerely thankful for being here in this tremendous opportunity, and I'm honored to stand before you and represent my family. By the way of introduction, my name is John Grothe. I'm the head PGA professional at Willamette Valley Country Club. And throughout my 18-year career, I've been fortunate to be able to work with and be involved with tremendous organizations, charities, but none of them have been as impactful to myself and my family as the Children's Cancer Association. I guess you're wondering why I'm up here, and quite frankly, I'm asking myself why I agreed to do this at this moment. There's 800 of you out there, by the way. I first want to say something about Tim Harmon, the young man that was up here earlier. Did anybody else get the feeling that you're going to end up working for that young man someday? Yes. Well, last fall I was seated exactly where you are tonight in a audience, a member of the Children's Pro-Am Golf Tournament that's organized by CCA board member Grant Hammersley. And the experience that I had in that, yes, Grant, where are you? Is Grant here? No, he's not. Well, he should be. He does a lot for our organization, so a quick round of applause for Grant. Well, that experience led me to this moment right now, and to be honest with you, I was sitting in the audience and I looked up on the screen and I noticed something that was incredibly important to my family, and it was a Music RX cart. And it immediately hit me, and it transported me back a full year to 2014 and the experience that I had that we're going to talk about this evening. What I hope to explain tonight is the massive impact that CCA can have on a family in need, and in fact, a family in dire need. We're here because we hate cancer, and I mean we hate it. We've either been touched by it ourselves, we know someone who has, or we will be impacted by cancer sometime in our lives, and my family has not been spared. But CCA is about so much more than pediatric cancer care services. CCA's programs reach kids of all ages and diagnosis and help so many families in need. And our story is about epilepsy. By further introduction, I'd like to introduce you to my son, Colton Grothe. And he's 11 years old, and he's a 6th grader. And he is my hero. He's also Superman, as you can tell. When Colton was 18 months old, he suffered from his first seizure. It was a simple eye flutter, but he continued to develop seizures over time, and we could not control it with medication, and he in fact suffers from all 6 seizure types. By 2009, his seizures were so out of control, we had to move from Bandon, Oregon, first to Reno, Nevada, and finally here to Portland to be able to get the necessary care at OHSU. In the fall of 2014, Colton suffered a serious episode of status epilepticus, which is full-time seizures. It started with a 38-minute long seizure. We immediately admitted him to OHSU, and for 21 straight days, things got worse. Every day. At times, Colton was having a seizure every 9 minutes. Without relief, in order to attempt to protect his brain, we moved him to the pediatric ICU, and he was induced into a coma. Yet, even though he was in the steepest of comas, his brain activity was at a bare minimum. He still had seizures. On the night of October 3rd, 2014, we received the news that we faced the very real possibility of losing our precious Colton. Nothing was able to stop the runaway electrical activity in his brain. That evening, Colton suffered a 5-hour-long seizure. Anything longer than 4 minutes can be fatal, and it was not expected he would survive the night. His brain was swelling and at any moment could hemorrhage outside of his skull, and he would expire at that time. As we lay together in the pediatric ICU, we were on the doorstep of the fight of his life. And as a father, I had doubt and I had fear. I feared for the torture my son would face and endure once we reduced the medications. I feared how much my son would remain after the devastating seizures had run their course. I questioned how I could help him. What would our future bring, and how could I summon the strength to face every day? In fact, at that time, the worst case was our best case. We prayed for calm, we prayed for peace, and we told him it was okay to go. It was at that point, at our lowest point, there was a quiet knock at the door. And that was when CCA walked in the room. That was when you walked into the room. Every last one of you. You see, a young man in a purple shirt with a ukulele walked in. And he asked if he could play a song for Colton. Now you have to imagine. And we're praying, and this guy in a purple shirt shows up. Okay. So you have to understand what it's like in the ICU. It's very sterile. There's a lot of lights, there's a lot of bells, there's a lot of things going off, a lot of doctors and nurses coming and going, and it's impossible to rest. And here's this young man with a ukulele, and he offered to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Now, if you're not readily familiar with that song, I warn you, I won't sing it for you. I'm not a singer. But it will tear you up. It will really hit you right in the heart. And it was just too difficult for us, so we asked him to stop. So the young man asked, what was Colton's favorite song? Well, unfortunately, he did not know the words to Sexy Back by Justin Timberlake. So we settled on Life is a Highway from the movie Cars by Rascal Flatts. And every so softly, he strummed and he sang the song. Knock me down, get me back up again. You're in my blood. I'm not a lonely man. There's no load I cannot hold. Road so rough, this I know. I'll be there when the light comes in. Just tell them that we are survivors. It was a simple song, and it was a simple action, but it gave us hope when we had none. In the coming days, we had a lot of serious questions to make, a lot of questions, a lot of decisions. Could Colton come out of this coma? Could he have his brain protected without the seizures? Could he breathe? Could he breathe on his own? We began to slowly reduce the coma-inducing medication, and slowly he reemerged, and he showed us signs that he would live. Every day the man would come with a ukulele, and he would return, and each time Colton would engage a little bit more with the song. Colton was returning to us each step of the way. It was the Music RX program in which he engaged with first. First, it was an eye activity. Next, it was almost as if he was twitching nervously. But it was unmistakable as the song played. Soon as he was chirping and he was attempting to sing, each time the song became louder and louder and louder, the pace would pick up. And over the next 3 weeks, Colton was awake, talking, and developing by leaps and bounds every 24 hours. And nothing was impossible for my son. By the time we left the hospital 72 days later, we were admitted, Life is a Highway had become our triumphant victory for Colton's return to life. Today, Colton is back at what we call baseline. He has between 1 to 2 seizures a day. He's an amazing young man in which I draw strength from. He lives in the present. He lives in the joy of this moment, and he does not worry about things outside of his control. And we enjoy him and love him for exactly who he is and not who he isn't. And I strive to be like my son every day. Colton's here tonight. He's with his mother, Chase, his beautiful sister, Lauren, and our home giver, Marcy. By the way, thank you. That went a lot better than I thought it would. And I am incredibly grateful to all of them. Tonight, through our story, I've tried to put into words what CCA has meant to our family, but I want to be very specific. When we had no reason to hope, it was you who gave it to us. When we had no reason for joy, it was you that brought joy into the room. All of my answers to all of my doubts and fears were so simple. The strength was within Colton. There was no question what we would do. He would fight, and therefore so would I. Although I was afraid, we are not afraid. And it took a man in a purple shirt with a ukulele to allow me to realize this. So here I am, a little more than a year removed from sitting in a CCA benefit just like this. And I stand before you on the stage, and I got involved because obviously I was thrust into this position, and frankly because I could not say no to Regina Ellis. And many of us are in that same boat, I believe. Well, I'm asking you now to get involved. And I'm doing so not because you may find yourself at this podium someday. I'd like to paint a picture for you. It's a little difficult in this room, but I'd like you to think of a hospital room right now. And I guarantee it's not very far away because it's probably in Portland. And there is a family that is dealing with insurmountable odds, that may be losing hope, that may not understand where they're going, and might be looking for a sign. And there is going to be a knock at the door. And I'd like to know, will you be the one knocking on that door? Because I know I will be. And tonight, I hope you help me give them the power and the gift of joy. Thank you.
Okay, I love this man. So, we're the music medicine people, and we know people, and we heard Colton was going to be here tonight. So we've got something special for you, Colton. Dad, check it out.
Hey, Colton. Hey, buddy. It's Rascal Flats. We just wanted to tell you that we're thinking about you. We're praying for you. We know that you like Life's a Highway, and we're going to dedicate it. We're actually in Tallahassee tonight, so we're going to dedicate that song to you tonight on stage. And just praying for you. Get well soon, buddy.